Hi, Peter. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well, Melissa. How are you?
I'm good. I'm not sure you need much of an introduction in our group because I know a lot of people in this group know you. And actually, Sharon Cherry connected us. So she's in the group. She's quite prevalent in the group. But you are Peter Englehart, and you are the Director of Business Development at Atelier Swarovski.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So how long have you been with Swarovski? What's your history there?
Well, I joined Swarovski about 7.5 years ago, and actually for one of our other business units. And one of the exciting things about working for a company like Swarovski, that's a global organization, is that we've had several different opportunities that I've been able to take part in. From when I first joined the company, to, we were just talking about Camellia and my days
Yes.
in the UK and across Europe. And then joining our gemstones business, and now here I am with Atelier Swarovski. So I've been
Mm.
in this side of the business with the lab grown diamonds for the past 5 years.
Okay, well, so you're talking about lab grown diamonds,
Yes.
LGD, and we're going to get to that in a minute, but you were just sharing some amazing slides with me showing how gorgeous this jewelry is. Would you be able to share them with our audience just now?
Yes, absolutely. And I think it also will help tell the story of what Atelier Swarovski is all about. So I typically don't like to just go into a presentation and just dump down a PowerPoint presentation, but we've got some interesting slides. I'm not going to go through some of them, and some of them I'll
Right.
go through more quickly. Some will go in a little bit more deeply. There's a couple of videos on here, though, that I think are really worthwhile and
Yeah.
will help explain really what we're doing and also inform about lab grown diamonds. And I know that
Yes.
your viewers are very interested in developments in laboratory grown diamonds. And I
Absolutely.
think a lot of people, when you say, when I say Swarovski, people, the first association is crystal,
Yeah.
which I think is wonderful because we are, at the end of the day, Swarovski is a globally known and trusted brand, and we're known for something so strongly as crystal. This is actually a perfect platform for us to launch lab grown diamonds, because where we've been making beautiful things with man-made materials such as crystal, now we're
Mm.
making this with laboratory grown diamonds, and you're going to see just how spectacular those are in a few minutes.
I
So yeah,
can't wait. Thank
so Atelier Swarovski was actually established in 2007 by Nadia Swarovski, who is fifth generation of the founding family. So Daniel Swarovski's great great granddaughter is on the executive board of Swarovski. And she established Atelier Swarovski back in 2007 as the company's luxury brand, and with collaborations with leading designers, and also pursuing the company's sustainability initiatives, which she'll talk about a little bit further in a few slides up.
mm.
The vision is something that's really advanced. This is taking what you see in our beautiful stores that are around the world. It really takes this really to the fashion catwalks of the world, pushing the boundaries of design. From a brand and price positioning standpoint, I like this slide because I think that this
I
helps
love it.
illustrate where we're going. Yeah, and you see down at the very bottom here, it's not a matter of priorities. Swarovski has built this wonderful brand and really beloved customer consumer following by being an accessible jewelry brand. And it was
Mhm.
Daniel Swarovski's vision in 1895 when he established this company, that he wanted to make dream-filled jewels accessible to all women around the world. It was truly a global vision that he had back then. Ultimately, he wanted to democratize luxury. And when we think about 1895, Melissa, who in England was wearing, extraordinary, beautiful, fine jewelry in
Mm.
1895?
Mm.
It was
Royalty.
the royal family. It was the business tycoons of the world. But
Mhm.
people like you and me and most of the people that we know didn't have access to beautiful jewelry. So that's really where our business was established, at being an accessible jewelry brand. Looking at this full landscape of the industry, it's not our ambition to take Atelier Swarovski to be the next Harry Winston or Graf. Those guys do that very, very well. We see the opportunity really being in that luxury segment, but this is at an accessible price point that is more widely available, and it's at the intersection of fashion to classic. And so I think you'll see that in some of the slides. I'm not going to show you all of our jewelry, but I hope that explains a little bit about what we're doing from a brand positioning standpoint.
That's a very attractive price point, and it is
Yeah.
accessible to most people. You're right.
Yes, and so much of our designs are actually created for female self-purchase. And we talk about millennials so much in Generation X, and those are important categories. But female self-shopping is that cuts across every demographic, every age group. To me, it's one of the most exciting opportunities in the jewelry industry. So looking at the product and the collection overview, our base materials and everything that we use in the Atelier brand is all sustainably sourced. In fact, one of the things that I'm very proud of is that Atelier Swarovski and Swarovski Gemstones are both certified members of RJC, which is the Responsible Jewelry Council. And this is the high bar. This is really the high bar of certification for your business practices, your sourcing of materials, your labor practices. And there's fewer than 4% of the jewelry businesses in the world are RJC certified. Imagine that.
That's amazing.
And we are audited every 2 years. We are re-audited on those things. So it's something that we take very seriously as a company. We are a family-owned business still, and so it's not just how it's going to affect the stocks. This is how it affects the family and how the family wants this business to be run.
That's amazing. Yeah.
The values and beliefs of the company, and I'm speaking really about what we do with Atelier, is creative collaborations. You're going to see some collaborations with some great designers. It's design excellence. It's what we talk about is conscious luxury, and it goes back to this adhering to top business practices in our sourcing, in our manufacturing, and our bringing our products to market through the entire supply chain. That we really take great care to make sure that the pieces that you're buying for yourself or giving as a special gift will remain that way, will remain special and beautiful. And ultimately, freedom of self-expression. That's what jewelry is all about.
Yeah.
So nobody explains this better than Nadia Swarovski. So hang tight here. I'm going to let her, in her own words, tell you about Atelier Swarovski.
Daniel Swarovski was an incredible visionary, and he was an incredible innovator. He came from Bohemia and started his crystal company in the Tyrolean Alps, really basing it on the town that had a very strong water source. And initially he used hydroelectricity, which actually at the emergence of the Industrial Revolution was revolutionary. He was able to give every woman the sensation of wearing a diamond by creating a crystal that was affordable to everyone. It was really the stories of my grandfather that have inspired me, stories of him meeting with Coco Chanel, Christian Dior. So I really set out to look for the equivalent of my grandfather's Dior, and I found a young man by the name of Alexander McQueen. The exercise that we started with Alexander McQueen, we rolled it in the fashion industry, but subsequently also had the wonderful chance to roll it in the jewelry industry. We started an amazing project called Runway Rocks, where we asked cutting-edge, emerging jewelry designers to create their ultimate catwalk jewelry piece. Again, it was a big question mark. Where did the jewelry piece end? Where did the fashion start? It was this togetherness, and it really helped us to emphasize fashion jewelry versus costume jewelry. Because Daniel Swarovski was such an innovator, we continuously strive to innovate and embrace the zeitgeist, and we create products that are luxurious. We want to be conscious, so therefore we're striving to create conscious luxury via Atelier Swarovski when we use created diamonds together with fair trade or fair mined gold. Now, in the 5th generation of this family business, we have tasked ourselves with the mission of taking luxury to another level. We're so proud to work with Penelope Cruz, who shares our values, who believe in what we're doing with our conscious luxury, and we truly are trying to demonstrate that both can go hand in hand, luxury created in a sustainable way.
So I do think I have the most fun job on the planet. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, that
It, it,
really summed it up. I had
it
no idea. That's incredible.
Nadia articulates that vision better than anybody.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I did not plug in. Can we pause just for a second? So yeah, Nadia expresses and articulates that vision better than anybody I know. She's inspiring to be around,
Yeah.
and certainly to follow her lead.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, that pretty much summed it up for me, for sure. But something that she said that I wondered if we could drive home a little bit was that she said fashion versus costume, because I think Swarovski with the crystal has aligned itself with the costume jewelry world, and it
Yes.
showed up on that slide. But this is not costume jewelry, is it?
Now, so the costume jewelry that we create with beautiful crystal and base metals, has been accessible. It's been what has built our business, and it will continue to be the mainstay of our business. The exciting part of the jewelry that we're creating now with Swarovski created diamonds is it really takes over or takes and runs with something that was started in our gemstone business, and the research that went into our entering into the fine jewelry space with lab-grown diamonds actually started in the early 2000s with research, recognizing that the technology was advancing and that this was potentially something that's going to be really big further down the road. So our gemstone business, and Swarovski is known around the world for our beautiful crystal business, but we also have a very serious gemstones business that was started back in the 1960s. So for over 50 years, this company has been producing both natural and created gemstones for the jewelry industry, primarily dealing with major designers. The Swarovski created diamonds are the latest product coming from that. And this is what is so exciting to work with. So as you can see on our screen here, Atelier Swarovski has actually been involved in both the fashion jewelry with crystal, as well as in the fine jewelry, and also in home and accessories. We launched earlier this year in earnest, where we actually launched in the market with fine jewelry starting from $495 US, and I say I've got here to $4,995 and above. We actually go up to almost $200,000 for some of the bespoke pieces that we have.
Wow.
But most of our product is really accessibly priced, and the majority of our product is actually under $3,000. So again, very much gauged to female self-purchase. Again, wanting to make this accessible fine jewelry. So shall we take a look at some of the collections? So this all started out with a collection. This is an in-house design that is called Diama, and with some great design attributes with that. One of which that I love is the power of two. The ultimate inspiration of this collection is most of our designs in this collection have an even number of stones, where we're used to selling solitaires and 3 stones, 5-stone rings. This is inspired by relationships. So the power of two, what we call the power of two, is it can be a couple that's in love. It can be a woman celebrating a milestone. It can be man in science. Anything that wants to be. This can be as unique as the person who wears it. But it's a beautiful collection. Again, most of this product is actually priced under $1,000, but some gorgeous pieces that we have here. Penelope Cruz has been collaborating with Nadia for a few years now, and you can see some gorgeous pieces here that we saw in the video. This is created with, what's kind of interesting here, this is a blending of Swarovski created diamonds, lab created sapphires and rubies, and also what you're seeing in some of these pieces is actually natural mined white topaz that comes from one of 3 mines in the world. They're all sustainably sourced from mines in Brazil, Tanzania, and Sri Lanka.
Beautiful.
And it's been inspired by Hollywood glamour. I mean, she is a stunning woman. She has a real care for the environment, for human dignity. She has done volunteer work with Mother Teresa. I would encourage anybody who finds Penelope Cruz to be inspiring, read her Wikipedia page. She really is a very enlightening person. Paige Novick, who is another one of our designers, is a New York-based designer. And I love the whimsy, the fun of her collection, and which is called Arc-en-Ciel, which is French for rainbow. She experiments with color in a fun way. Pieces made in 18 karat white and yellow gold, asymmetrical earrings that are just a lot of fun. This odd shaped piece down at the bottom that looks like a flip flop is actually a palm cuff. It's such a cool piece that's on the hand.
Oh,
and
wow.
here is Paige explaining what she does.
Hi, I'm Paige Novick, and I'm a fine jewelry designer. My relationship with Atelier Swarovski started very organically. For me, working with them has been like the holy grail. What inspired my collection was working in this new medium, working with created diamonds and colored topaz and fair trade gold. I would describe my collection as playful, elegant, sculptural, but mostly wearable. There's a versatility to it and an accessibleness that I really loved. Using fair trade gold goes back to the conversation about sustainability, supply chain, and the importance of transparency. And to me, in today's world, this is no longer an option, but truly a mandate.
And you see close up on some of those rings that she was just talking about there.
Stunning. Yeah. Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun jewelry. And then here, one of your countrymen, Stephen Webster, is just extraordinary jewelry designer and also a very colorful individual. He's done a couple of collections for us that have really been inspiring. Tito Pedrini, who is our one of our newest designers, this Light is Life collection. The interpretation and the inspiration behind this claw design that you see on pave, of course, it's not the prongs for the pave, but the inspiration comes from really grabbing at life. He is a cancer survivor, and he speaks about about really fighting it and fighting for life and appreciating every day. And Light is Life is really his ultimate expression. Some beautiful designs that he has, and again, super wearable product.
Beautiful. That is absolutely stunning.
And Prince Dimitri, who is our first introduction into jewelry that can be used as engagement rings, with his Knot of True Love design, which is based on a family crest design that dates back to 1434. He is the Royal Prince of Yugoslavia. His family is his family, and I'm not talking about distant ancestors. I'm talking aunts and uncles and grandparents have been parts of the royal family throughout Europe. And he has a very interesting story. He has a very interesting interpretation with this Knot of Savoy. The Knot of True Love is a knot design which is timeless in jewelry. It almost evokes an infinity symbol as well as the knot, but it's an open knot. And the idea behind this is that it is the knot that binds but does not constrain. And I think that we can appreciate that even more with relationships in our modern world. So, Melissa, one of the things you and I first started talking about is about this whole thing about lab-grown diamonds and how they compare to mined diamonds and what makes Swarovski create diamonds differently. So, I start out talking a little bit more about the jewelry that we've actually created with that, because that really is the ultimate. I think that people buy the product because it's beautiful. The fact that it is made with the environment and the whole supply chain very well thought through is something that the consumer expects today. But ultimately, they're not going to buy something just because it was made out of sustainable materials. It has to be beautiful, and I think that we've been able to establish that. This is where I think that the really exciting part starts. It's kind of behind the scenes with this embrace of lab-grown diamonds that Swarovski has done. So And please stop me at any point if you've got any questions or want to input, Melissa.
Well, I just have one thing to say, just on the back
Yes.
of all the designers, you know,
Yes.
because this group is largely full of retailers and brands and people in the industry. And I
Yes.
just think that this is the gift that keeps on giving. Atelier Swarovski, it just has so many selling points. Not only does the jewelry sell itself, because as you say, it is beautiful, but once staff are trained up, this is just something that a salesperson could really get behind and continue to explain about each designer, the material itself, which I know you're going to talk about in just a minute. But I just think it's amazing. It is the gift that keeps on giving for any retailer or sales associate. I love it.
Yeah, and Melissa, you've touched on two really important points. One is training, and I think for a lot of people who are getting into lab-grown diamonds for the first time, it's uncomfortable. Let's be clear about this. I've been doing this for 5 years. What I've learned over those 5 years is that the consumer is ready.
Yes.
The consumer embraces this. The consumer is excited about this. They may not know about it, but it does not take much. And it's one of the last slides that I have, that what we've learned about selling the product and presenting it to the consumer in a transparent way that's thoughtful, but ultimately that's commercial, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it doesn't sell. And so we want to be able to position this in a way that is acceptable to consumers, that gives them the information that they need to make an informed decision whether this is right for them or not. Overwhelmingly, and I can tell you, it's not just a millennial thing. It's people of all ages that really embrace this, that think it's really cool. And ultimately, you know, I've always said women are more pragmatic, especially when it comes to finances. And most women that I have met would prefer to have a larger diamond of a better quality. They'd like to, if it's buying it for an engagement ring, they'd like to be able to get the setting that they really want, that beautiful mounting that they want from the designer that they want, plus the diamond that they had always dreamed of, not have to choose one or the other. And this really enables people to get much more for their dollar, or at the very minimum, they're able to take a nicer honeymoon or vacation. So I think, again, it comes down to choice, and that's all we're preaching here. So you can see on the right-hand side here, we actually are, and I'm not going to get into it today, maybe for another discussion, but we actually have a lot of different colored diamonds that we're now producing. But you know, really, essentially, I think that the important thing for people is, what is a diamond? And a diamond is essentially, it's 100% carbon that under immense heat and pressure under the Earth's surface over millions and millions of years produces a diamond. We now have the ability to produce this in a laboratory. And a lot of people don't realize, they think this is something that's brand new. The new evolutions of technology that have brought this to market now are very new, but lab-grown diamonds were actually invented by General Electric in the 1950s. And they've been used in commercial abrasives, and even in the drill bits that your dentist uses in you know, filling cavities and whatnot, have diamond tips on them, because it is such a hard substance. It's such a durable substance. So, you know, just a little interesting history about natural mined diamonds. For the lab-created diamonds, there's two different technologies right now that are being used. You'll hear the acronym or the abbreviation for them of HPHT and CVD. And HPHT is HPHT is the high pressure, high temperature. And in conditions that are very similar to what are found in the Earth's under the Earth's crust, that is what is mimicked in HPHT. And CVD is also using high temperature, but it actually uses a vacuum chamber with gases and microwave technology. It's really exciting. It's very interesting. And I've got some slides here that give you a little bit of a slice of what this is about, because in both technologies, it starts with a small diamond seed, which is, this can be either natural mined, or it can be a lab-grown diamond seed. But it's put into either a press, such as what you see here, the HPHT press, with some graphite as a catalyst and some metals that under the extreme temperatures and pressure, the carbon atoms bond to the diamond seed and grow the diamond over the course of weeks. And the other technology, as you see, very different looking machine, is using, again, still quite high temperatures, but actually using a vacuum chamber and bombarding these gases with microwaves, that literally the carbon atoms get separated from the gases and rain down on the seeds and grows the diamonds over the course of weeks.
Wow.
At the end of the day, you're cutting, whether you're cutting a diamond that is mined from the earth, or whether you are cutting an HPHT produced diamond or a CVD produced diamond, they're both cut using exactly the same tools, the exact same technology. All of that is identical. It's just how the diamonds are produced in the first place.
Right.
And the analogy that we really like to use and has been most effective for us is the orchid. And that is that if an orchid grows in nature, in the tropics, or an orchid grows in a greenhouse, they're both orchids. And they're both 100% orchid. The only difference between the two of them, of course, is their origin. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, 100%. And I think if I was shopping for Swarovski, even though I think it's important that the sales associate knows the growing technique, either one,
Yes.
I'm not really that fussed. I think the fact that it's Swarovski, I trust the name Swarovski. I think it's beautiful. And for me, it's the collaboration with the designers and Penelope Cruz. You know, I just think it's stunning, and I think it's a great concept, and it's like what you said at the beginning, it's accessible luxury for most people, and it also can make the guy look like a huge hero when he's, I know you were saying that most women would be buying it for themselves, and a lot of women do these days, but a guy who's getting down on one knee can look like an absolute hero.
Yeah.
Tick tick.
Make all of her friends jealous.
Absolutely. I think it's great. I love it. I think it's stunning. It's a great marriage. Really good.
Yeah, it is. And you know, so I can tell you that they're identical. The orchid analogy, all these things. I think some of these slides here really spell this out. This is not just our saying this. If you look here, you know, from a molecular standpoint, lab-grown diamonds are 100% diamond. Even the Federal Trade Commission. So the Federal Trade Commission 3 years ago made some of the most sweeping changes that they have in over 20 years in the category as it relates to lab-grown diamonds. And they ultimately stated that a diamond is a diamond is a diamond, whether it is mined from the earth or grown in a lab. They are both diamonds. They're both 100% diamonds. The one thing that they require, similar to cultured pearls, have to be identified as cultured pearls as opposed to being natural pearls. Lab-grown diamonds have to be identified as either lab-grown. There's several different ways that they can be referred to. One of them is associating it with a brand specifically, and that's why we choose to call our diamonds Swarovski created diamonds. So it could be a lab-created diamond, it could be a lab-grown diamond, laboratory, lots of different terminology. The only one that you really need to know is Swarovski created diamond. And there really is a big difference, I believe, between the trust that you feel, and you just said it, Melissa, the trust that people have and the emotion that is brought about by the Swarovski brand, because it is such a great brand. It is a great company, a wonderful, still family-held organization. And being RJC certified, that people can feel confident that what they're buying is something that has been produced in the best possible manner. So I think that more today than ever before, we care about these things with regards to our planet and our fellow human beings.
I think, yes, definitely. People are investigating more where products are coming from, sustainability, complete transparency as well, which is what Swarovski's famous for. complete transparency. And I think it's fantastic. It's exciting, very exciting.
I like to say we're so proud of our diamonds that we actually laser inscribe all of our diamonds with the family name on it.
Oh, cool.
And we don't do this on the edge of the diamonds where many times diamonds have whether it be a lab report number or a manufacturer's engraving that's on the edge of the diamond. That's often obscured with the mounting, how the diamond is set into a piece of jewelry. Set on our laser inscription is in the star facet of the diamond, and it's at super magnification. This is not something you can even see with a jeweler's loupe. You need 20 power magnification with a gem scope, but it's always there. It's something that can always identify your diamond as being your diamond. It's a Swarovski created diamond, and our diamonds come with lab reports. And this is my second to last slide. This is how we actually sell it, and this really comes from what we've learned by listening to the most important people, and that's the people who are actually working with our product first on with consumers. I learn more speaking with sales professionals in stores than I do with the presidents of the companies, because the sales professional really understands what they find easy about selling our product, the things that they find hard about it, what they're not comfortable about. And this is where we place a big emphasis on training. But ultimately, we also get the reaction of the consumer and how the consumer expresses this. And taking and synthesizing this information, we very early on really recognize that the way to present our product in the right way to sell it and make both the sales professional confident and the consumer also comfortable is that we sell on the basis of design first. The acronym that we developed is easy to remember in our industry. It's DVS, but design is the hero. The diamond is the hero of the design. And we've got beautiful designs that when we're showing the consumer our product in our case, we focus on the design. Oftentimes I find when I'm standing behind the case and the consumer looks in and they see it says Atelier Swarovski, they read the 9 letters of Swarovski and they assume that it's all crystal.
Right.
And at that point, I like to say, well, actually, this is Atelier Swarovski, which is our luxury brand. So everything that you're looking at in this case is diamonds and gold and gemstones. And then we go on, and you've seen just a few snippets of our designers. There's great stories behind this. There's inspirations behind each of these designs, and in showing these pieces to the consumer, if they find something that they love, the next question that they're going to ask is the price. And quite frankly, if they're not that interested, if they don't ask the price, you've got plenty of other things in your store to sell them, so you can move on to the next case.
Right.
But if they ask for the price, in my experience, Melissa, when the consumer asks for the price, it's because they're interested.
Correct.
As we've been talking with them about the designer, about the 18 karat gold, about the quality of these diamonds, and we use our Swarovski created diamonds are cut to excellent proportions, the very least of which we have some that are very good. But for the most part, these are all ideal cut diamonds, even down to the very smallest. They are magnificent to look at. All of these things, the Swarovski brand gives a strong value proposition. And so when the customer asks for the price, again, in my experience, and I've worked behind the counter quite a bit with this product, is that the consumer's perception of the value is quite high. So when I tell them the actual price, they're surprised, but it's a nice surprise. And it's at that point, and only at that point, that I say, well, let me tell you a little bit more about this. At the beginning, you asked me about if this was all crystal, and I said, no, this is diamonds and gold. Let me tell you a little bit more about the diamonds. The diamonds are all Swarovski created diamonds, and I'll explain just very briefly the fact that they are chemically, physically, and optically identical to mine diamonds. And using the orchid analogy. And quite frankly, the customer already knows and trusts Swarovski. Yes. They love the design. They now love the price. And now they're quite candidly, they are quickly confident in the material because it has the Swarovski name attached to that. And that is where Swarovski, being a known and trusted consumer brand, is the S in the DVS. And that's really, really important. It doesn't work with just being a beautiful design and value proposition. People really have to trust it. Wonderful. Melissa,
Amazing.
thank you so much. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you so much for your time. Will you please come back and talk to us some more, because I have a million more questions, but I know you have to go. So
We'd love
this
to.
is
We'd love
great.
to.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Anytime.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.